Welcome to Unfiltered 3, Spilling the Tea with Cece,
Autumn,
and Brie.
Hi, friends.
Welcome back to another episode. Today we are rejoined by Cece, who just got back from her vacation.
Hey.
And we're so excited to hear all about it. And, you know, we thought it would be fun to talk about all of our vacations because we've all been on vacations recently.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, and so different, but also similar as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should just dive right in.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, as I mentioned, I went on vacation and I did a little trip with my sister to Missouri. And I know everyone's like, Missouri, but it was actually a great trip. I know, I looked at you, I was like, I didn't say Mississippi because I'm an dork and sometimes I mess up my words. So sometimes I say Mississippi when I mean Missouri. It's just my brain. But yeah, I went with my sister. We have some family there. We also have a friend that lives there. And so it was a lot of fitting a lot of people into a short span, which is awesome and really tough at the same time. We ended up going to, well, okay, so we had to go to this place called Nixa, and it's 3 hours from St. Louis, but we wanted to end our trip in St. Louis because we also had family there we wanted to see. So we ended up renting a car and driving. And we also have family in the middle of those two. So it kind of worked out almost perfect where,
But you guys didn't just rent a car.
well, I mean, we had an upgrade and we had a few options. Ram white truck, Ram white truck, Ram white truck.
And we'll let you guess the last one.
It was a Ram white truck.
What?
Yes, and we went with that one, obviously.
That's the best one.
It actually was a great ride, and it was really comfy, except for I am 5'3", and the truck was like 7'9", and so it didn't have a step stool or the side step thingy or whatever the hell you call
It's a
them.
massive fucking truck.
Oh God, yes. I think
It's
I'm
8 foot.
I'm a little stronger on my left side from climbing up into this thing. It was
I
ridiculous.
think that's like one of those times where like the world is giving you a sign
That I need a white Ram truck.
and you're not allowed to ignore it.
Listen, we can't complain because it was a really nice ride. And then in that neck of the woods, a lot of people have trucks. So we
Yeah,
were like,
yeah,
hey, we fit
yeah.
in here. Like, we have a truck. But along the road, there is a special place that we stopped at. We stopped at Uranus. And we ate
You stopped at Uranus?
Oh, we stopped at Uranus. And they specialize in fudge packing.
Oh.
And we ate a lot of dark chocolate fudge.
Wait.
I love their
don't mean-
branding.
I don't mean to interject. I mean, but like, what a great name.
I know.
Uranus fudge.
There are huge
Can't.
billboards everywhere.
That's amazing.
Going Uranus. Stop at Uranus. The best fudge around and all this stuff. And when you first walk in, they're like, welcome to Uranus.
I want to meet the owner.
Oh my God. It's hilarious. And they almost made it into like this little amusement area of just silly things.
I just hope their fudge is in the shape of the poop emoji.
It is not, unfortunately. It was just a regular basic
I need to
square.
send them that idea.
That would be fantastic.
Even if it's not like, it's just one thing.
Yeah.
But that's just so
God.
damn funny.
So, listen,
I
I
love that.
recommend everyone stop there because it was delicious. And they have a
Yeah.
lot of vintage candies and cute little things. I think they had a museum too, but we were only interested in that fudge.
I mean, that's a great name. And you know someone that has that great of a name that their product has got to be good.
Well, they had some shirts with some freaking funny sayings on them too.
Oh
I
my
can't
God.
remember all
I
of
would
them,
have
but
had to get a hoodie. My favorite thing to do on vacations like that, stop in those types of stores and buy that kind of merch. It's just
I
so quirky. Like no one else is gonna have that.
I
Yeah.
wanted to, but it was like one of our first stops, and I was
Yeah,
like, all right,
yeah.
budget, like,
Yep. I
let's,
get it. There
yeah.
could be something better, that you see
Mm-hmm.
later on that you're like,
Yeah.
damn, I should buy this instead. Totally get that.
Which I do, I love antiquing. You guys know this. And so we got to stop at a lot of antique stores along the way. And I love just looking at all this old shit and going, oh, there's a story behind this stupid thing and this crazy looking thing and this beautiful item. And it's, it's, I love it. And, but we ate so much on this trip too. I mean, there were so many cool places to eat. In Nixa, we stopped at this one place called Lambert's, which was the place I told you guys about that throws buns at you.
Yeah.
Hot, fresh buns right out of the oven. They literally go to the side of all these booths, and if you put your hand up, they just throw them at you. And hopefully you catch them.
I would not. I know that
There
much.
were
I
there were
would.
oh my god, there were
Autumn
a
would have to
couple.
catch all
There
the
were a
buns.
couple really sad buns on the floor that I was
I
like,
would
those are so
Oh.
yummy
and I would want to
oh.
beam them so hard back. Like it
Mhm.
would be such an urge to throw the bun back. But in case anyone hasn't seen, Cece posted a TikTok
Uh-huh.
on our TikTok page so you guys can see the throwing of the buns
Yeah, I
in the
tried to catch
restaurant
it.
and
We weren't at the
yummy food.
oh my god, it was
Mhm.
so good. But they have so much food.
Yeah.
But we were not in the best spot to really film um the catching of the buns. But I recommend everyone go watch that video. And there's some fun stuff in there too. Really, we spent a couple days in Nixa and then we ended up going to Dixon, which is another fun like outskirts place. And that's like I want to say an hour and a half from St. Louis. It's like you almost go to so many different places. I thought these were going to be like farm places because I've never been to each of these locations, but they were actually very developed with a lot of stuff and I wasn't expecting it. Really cool local coffee shops and stuff like that.
So would you say they're similar to like the towns that we have around us?
Yeah, the towns around us, I would actually say they're more developed, and because you almost they have highways that you take places to, whereas here is more. We do have highways, but they're not.
We don't
They're
need a
low
highway to
key.
go
They're
to.
low key.
Yeah, that would be like if we needed to go to one of the cities around us,
Mm-hmm.
less of the towns.
Hmm.
I guess that's I mean like I don't know Missouri, but that's very similar to Virginia where we had a highway that got us everywhere where I used to live down there.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in Sacramento, I wouldn't even compare it to that. That's even bigger. That's like huge. That's a
Yeah,
huge
that's a
city.
city.
Yeah.
So like it's bigger than the places here, but definitely smaller than a big
Yeah,
city. So I
yeah,
don't really know how to
yeah.
categorize it. But I was really surprised. And in Dixon, my sister slash cousin lives there, and I call her my sister because we were very close when we were younger, and she lived with us. And she was just my big sister, and I was the pain in her ass, I'm sure. But she is into a lot of metaphysical things, and so we went to a lot of those stores, and it was so much fun because I didn't know she was into those things. So then we got to a lot of talking, which was actually funny because one of the stores we walked into, she's like, "Oh, I bet your friend Bree would like this." And I was like, "How the hell do you know Bree?" And I look at her and she's like, "You know, your friend Bree." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I've been talking about her a lot because we're going to metaphysical stores." I was like, "How do you know her?" Oh my
A
god.
traditional CC moment.
Yes.
Love
Can't help it.
Love it.
But one of the stones I was really drawn toward was Hessonite. Not only did I see this in antique stores, which my sister and I were fighting over a ring because it was beautiful, but we ended up not getting it anyway. Um, but I got a bracelet later. And out of curiosity, do you know any qualities on that, Brie?
I do. So I actually brought my crystal Bible. I brought the Bible to the table. It's a type of garnet, which I have fun learning about this stuff. So it's a particular quality of garnet, and it's good for self-respect, eliminating feelings of guilt and inferiority,
Oh,
and encourages service. It supports seeking out new challenges. opens your intuition and psychic abilities, and is good
Ooh.
for out of body journeys. I
Ooh,
know
I
you've
like
been
that.
meditating a lot. You could
I've been
astral
trying.
project.
I've been struggling a little to stay focused on that, but especially this morning, my dad's texting me. I'm like, I'm meditating, and he's like, "Great, come over for coffee."
Yeah, they probably don't understand.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I will say garnet is one of my favorite stones that I carry on me all the time. So you
Mhm.
you made a good choice.
Yeah.
I say.
The colors that it ranges in are quite beautiful. It's like almost a
Mhm.
red to a bright orange.
You
The
yeah,
the
no.
ring we saw was bright orange. It was stunning. I really wish one of us bought it. So we got to spend a lot of time with my cousin, which was great. And one of the things besides metaphysical that she loves is animals. And she had a bunch of dogs and two lizards, which were so cute, a bunch of cute fish, a couple cats, and then her son's dog was there too, and he was so handsome. I don't remember some kind of cattle dog, but he was so handsome.
I just want to say really quick, I want to meet your cousin.
Yes, I think you guys would get along very well.
I think so too.
And so we were chatting that she obviously needs more animals, and we can't wait to bring home like a mini goat, a mini cow,
Oh,
mini
goodness.
horse. And of course, her husband's like, "What are you doing trying to convince her of this shit?" And I'm like, "Mini horse can come in the house. Like, come on, they'd get
Can
along
she
with the
please
dogs."
get a kid? A little mini goat.
I know
They're so
they're
cute.
so cute, but they like yell at you.
They're kids.
Hmm.
They're legit kids.
She'd be like, "I got too many of those now," even though her kids are legit adults. But on the last night, we ended up going to this cute little German place, which our
Mm.
our server was so cute. She was super high, like high energy, super nice. I was very impressed with her. And I yeah, I would definitely recommend this place. It was good, but I love schnitzel. I love schnitzel so much, but it wasn't as good as my friend Marcus's, which he will love hearing that. But he makes such good schnitzel. I miss you, Marcus and Jess. Oh my gosh. So I did really love spending the quality time with them, which I saw them a couple years ago, but I was saying to my cousin, like, we saw you, but we didn't have quality conversation.
Yeah.
Like we got to sit in her living room and just talk and drive around and just have real conversations about real shit and get a little deep here and there, especially with our pasts. But it was amazing. It was amazing time.
It's one of my favorite things to do when you go on a vacation
Mhm.
to see family members is like actually getting to have that free time together like you would if you lived there where you just
Mhm.
Yeah.
you're just hanging out. There's no plan. You're just chilling. Like just quality time.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. I'm glad
Both
you got to have that.
I
Yeah.
know. We so lucky. I mean, I knew I was going to have quality time with my sister, which is one of the things I must say. But after Dixon, we ended up going back to St. Louis, and we did one of the big things we wanted to do. Is what my sister really wanted to do was go to the museum. And one of the first things when we got there, I was saying, "Oh, I'm really excited. I love to walk around a museum and look at art." And she was very surprised by that. Number one, because she knows I can't walk a huge long time without getting really sore. But she's like, "You like to go to museums and look at art?" And I was like, "Yes." And she's like, "I don't have anyone to like really do that with.
Aw.
So this is really nice." And I was like really excited because I'll just stare at that. And then I start to feel things. And at one point I did like start to tear up with one of the paintings. And
What did it look like?
there was well, there's a couple, but I really like scenery.
Mhm.
And there
Mhm.
was this beautiful, it looks very dark on the outside. I'm trying to imagine it in my
Mhm.
head now. And then as you like dive deeper into it, it like becomes a little brighter, and you're like in a forest looking at this waterway with this huge tree. And it's almost like what I felt was like the light at the end of the tunnel. This
Mm.
beautiful scenery, but you have to get through the darkness first. It
Oh,
was really pretty.
I love
That's
that.
yeah, and I'm
Mhm.
sure the artist loves that you got to have that experience from their
Yeah,
art.
I'm like legit tearing up right now just
Oh.
trying like to like describe it. But,
Yeah.
you know, everyone gets a different sensation from art
Mhm.
and their own interpretation, which I just love.
That's what makes it so beautiful
Mm,
is that like I can make something and you can experience it through my eyes or through my creativity and relate it to something in your life and
mhm.
it just like art just touches so many in so many ways and it's super cool.
Yeah, it
You
was
had such a vacation.
I did. I mean, I did so many things. And then, you know, I'm still going when I get back. So it was like, you know, just nonstop. I really can't wait till tomorrow when I can like just have my feet up for a little bit. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
Mhm.
Um, but one of the things we also did was obviously more antiquing because I'm like, there's an antique store. Stop, stop, stop. And then we went to another metaphysical store, and this is where we had a reading. So we're back in
Ooh.
St. Louis at this point, and this was really cool because at first, when I first walked in, I was like, "Oh, look, they have readings," and she's like, "All right, I signed us up." And then the lady's like, "All right, come in," and I was like, "Oh shit, okay." But it was it was creepy because it was so
Oh.
spot on.
Oh,
It creeped
Oh.
me out a little bit.
like just I feel like when you have a reading, you really need to be in like that right mindset and like you need that preparation. So was it because it was so spontaneous, you didn't have the preparation that you just like weren't ready
It was
or
spontaneous. I don't know
was it the
this.
wrong spread?
No, it's just that, you know, when I first meet someone,
Mm.
number one, I want to believe person, believing skeptic. I don't know how else to put it other than that. And so I will go in and um, I won't tell anyone about my past, about, you know, what I really want a reading on or anything. I just try to focus on what I'm looking for.
Mhm.
And I basically just said to her, you know, I'm just kind of curious about the next year, whatever.
Something very broad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's like, okay. And she goes straight into it. And she goes, okay, this is your past, present, and future. Your past. You have a love that you lost and it's tragic. And you're this is a weeping woman and this is text and something. And immediately I'm like, oh my God, what the hell?
Now, did no one gave any kind of preface
No.
as to
This woman
anything?
has never met me,
Okay.
doesn't know anything,
Yeah.
hasn't like, you know,
And
of
was
course.
able to pick that up.
Yeah, it was creepy.
Wow. Okay.
And she goes, "This is your present, and you're trying to get over a mountain." And talking, you know, there's this huge mountain you have to get over, and then the last, oh, you're gonna find love. This is your future. You're gonna find love again. This something else. I don't remember. And she said, "But you're gonna do good things, but there's one person you or one thing you need to look out for." And it was similar to when we had our reading and it was like, "Oh, there's that one thing you guys need to work on," or not you guys, but you guys know what I'm
Yeah, 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 yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh my God, just got pegged it right on the nose." Like it's crazy. So yeah, that really freaked me out because I was like,
Okay, so creepy as in like it was so accurate
"Yes,
versus
Mm.
like she
creepy."
gave
Yeah,
you
not
the skeeves.
yes, yes. Sorry, specify that.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, spot on, relatable to my life.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
like goosebumps.
yeah,
Mhm.
Like when we did our reading,
I know.
goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told her at the end, I said, "Yeah, you know, my late fiance and all this." And I said the
Mhm.
text thing, I wasn't ready to get rid of his text thread for the longest time, and I would go back and read it and you know, just interesting.
Yeah,
Very,
yeah.
very
Mhm.
Now,
interesting.
can I ask you
Hmm.
when she brought up that thing that correlated back to our reading,
Mm-hmm.
what were your thoughts? Like what did you think about that? Like did it did you think of, "Oh, right, it could be this." Did you have any of those
Immediately
Yeah.
was like, I think back to that reading, and I was like, there's
So you don't
something.
have any like
I
inclination as
don't
to
have
what you
any.
think it might be or
No.
no?
I
Okay.
just know there's something
There's just something our way.
that's not gonna be easy.
Yeah.
And that's it. And, you know, as general as that is, like, I know that will happen, number one.
I also think that what we're doing is not easy.
Very true.
Putting ourselves out there. overcoming a lot of new territory that opens up, new mental awareness that we wouldn't have known prior because we didn't put
Mm-hmm.
ourselves in these shoes. So I think,
I know.
yeah, that just it keeps wrapping back around,
I
guys.
know.
It's so
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Everything is cyclical.
And we are aligned.
Mhm.
I like that.
And
Oh, man.
just to go off that, just a little side note. We all have an app that we share our birthday and birth year and everything, and I keep getting updates that we are aligned in the same journey, both of you and I.
Oh,
Mhm.
And I'm
didn't know
just like, that's just crazy.
that. That is.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I've been doing better at my nightly tarot and oracle card pulls, and there's been a lot of that too.
Yeah.
Like, just still, it's beautiful. I love it.
Tingly feelings. So I got to tell you guys about the last hotel we stayed in because it was heaven. I wanted to put that bed right in my freaking suitcase. We had a little bit of time when we first got in, so that's why we went to the store. But by the time we got back, like we were supposed to go out to an event, which we were like, we're gonna take a nap instead. We wanted to go, but we were exhausted from traveling. And if you would have laid on this bed, you would have understood that once you lay down, you don't want to get up.
Yeah.
No, I think
It was,
I relate.
it was, yeah. Okay, you guys get me. And one of the things that I love about my sister and I is that we love Law and Order. We could put Law and Order SVU on and just watch it all day. So thank God they had that on the TV. So we took our very long nap, had a wonderful dinner at the hotel restaurant, and then went upstairs and, watched Law and Order till we fell asleep. And it was just, that was a great day. That was a really good day.
That's awesome. I know how much you and your sister mean to each other
Mm-hmm.
and how
Mhm.
much you guys miss each other living on opposite coasts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Don't get me crying.
I don't mean to make you
My
cry.
cancer.
I'm as your friend, I'm really happy you were able to have that time with her.
I know.
Yeah.
She's like, so she's a very busy person. She
Yeah.
had to work, and
She's a boss,
she is
dude.
a boss. She is a boss bitch.
Yeah.
Going on this vacation, working the entire time, and then she is also going to school for her second master's.
Yeah, she's
So,
amazing.
um, and she said she probably should have planned this a little better because she was a little overwhelmed. But seriously, she got everything, done. And she's like, I'm sorry, I'm having to work and do this. I was like, Sam, you don't understand. Being in the same room with you is enough.
Mm.
See, I'm totally starting to. Uh, but now I'm like, all right, dab the nose a little more and dab the eyes.
Hey, this is a authentic space,
Yeah,
non-judgmental.
I know. I love my sister, and
Yeah.
we don't get to see each other that often. So to spend time together, quality time
Yeah, no,
together.
that would be someone I would miss very much if I didn't live near my sister. As she was over last night and we were talking about how we need to do more things together.
Definitely. And yeah, I'm lucky enough. My sister and I are a year apart, and we grew up doing a lot of the same things together, and then kind of figured out who we were a little more later in like high schoolish, not later in life, but and then grew this respect for each other of being apart and having appreciation for when we did have that time together. So I love her. But then the sad next day, well, it wasn't sad, but we got to see my uncle, my aunt, and my cousin. We went to a nice little lunch since we didn't get to see them the night prior, and then just kind of chill day. And then we got to pack and get ready for the next day for leaving early in the morning. Which you guys have traveled, you know that it is always harder to pack for going home than it is for going there. So glad we had a little extra time for that. And I did get a
Yeah.
couple little antiques and things like that, so I had to fit them in there too.
You must.
Yes.
You gotta have some kind of souvenirs. And she got me a mug. For
Yes.
those of you that don't know, I, Autumn, collect mugs. And now I love it because now all my friends buy me all the state mugs from Starbucks. But I will say, I just love mugs.
Yeah.
If you don't want to buy a $20 mug, you don't have to. I appreciate it, but like if you see a quirky mug, that get that.
Alright.
I
Oh,
will
I could
just
find
I
you
think
a
they're
really
so
cool
fun.
vintage one.
Yeah, I think they're so fun.
I was gonna sarcastically say, okay, the next white plain mug.
I know. Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
from California.
So I did end up bringing you guys back bracelets too.
Yes, which
Yes.
I need help putting on.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
use
really
it.
difficult to pull that string, I realized.
I'm gonna
Yes.
use it as an anklet because
Okay.
that'll be easier to put on and off. And I just it's just a couple of stones, and I've
Mm-hmm.
always wanted an anklet, so I felt like that was a good fit
Okay.
for yeah.
As
And I love
long as it,
aquamarine.
is that what it is? Because
Yes.
it was just like it said friendship on it and calmness, and I was like, perfect.
Did we get the same one?
No, you got a different
Okay.
one because it was like for stress relief or
Yeah, I
something,
saw
and I
that. Yeah.
think you were having I think prior to you were having a little rough time, so I
Yeah,
was like,
work.
this one.
Work is
Yes.
stressful. There's a lot going on.
But I do have to ask. I brought Bree back a potion, like a psychic power potion, and I was curious if you used it. Oh, okay.
And it's something I'm super excited
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
very curious to see how you feel afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a whole thing.
Love it. But that was my big thing. My big thing lately.
Your vacation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I
That's
I needed
awesome.
it mentally.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was great.
Speaking of mental health from a vacation, that is one of the reasons why I needed mine so bad
Yeah, I bet.
last September. So, last September I went to the Outer Banks and I went with my other best friend, who is also all of our friend as well.
Yes.
She just lives in another state from us. So, the time that I get to spend with her is very cherished and I long for it. And I always just get so excited. But, so actually I was actually supposed to go on this vacation in 2020. So the plans started, I mean, I think they started in like 2015, but I interjected myself into this vacation, not meaning to. I just, I love the beach and I have a lot of fond memories with Outer Banks and growing up. I spent a lot of time there as a kid. So I was like, oh my gosh, being able to spend this time with my friend group that I have now, like that's full circle. It's just super cool. So her mom had posted on Facebook something about, like needing to have like a list of people to like if they had like an open room, would you want to go? So I texted Grace and I was like, "Hey, just let your mom know if someone backs out or can't go and they have an open space, like count me in. I'm your girl." And then the next thing I knew, I was going on this vacation. Like that wasn't even like she was making sure she had enough bedrooms for me to go. So that was super cool. I love her mom dearly.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were supposed to go the September of 2020. Clearly, we did not.
I wonder why.
As everyone knows, 2020 was a fucking shit show. So we finally got to go in September of 2022, and it was long overdue. I haven't been on a vacation since 2014, so very near like 10 years, 8 years,
Needed.
8 years, and I was stressed out. My brain was just like at its max. Like I was like, if I don't detach from the world and reality, I am going to have an episode.
Mhm.
And so I was able to do that. And so this vacation was probably like 26 people. We went to the beach. We stayed in this massive freaking
Oh yeah,
house.
the house was
It was
beautiful.
so big. It was so big. And it was right on the beach. It was right on the beach. I
Mm.
want to go again, guys. And I want you both to be there.
Yes.
I missed you quite a bit, Bree, because like Andrew was there And I should also mention this is part of Andrew's family.
Yeah.
This is majority of Andrew's family, but also my family. We're very intertwined.
Very, yes.
They're the best.
And so I was like, Bree should be here. Bree would be at the beach with me every day.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
I was missing my tanning partner.
Yeah. I just had started new jobs and
Yeah,
I've gone
yeah.
through a break, and so I had to stay back and work, but oh, I was living vicariously
It
through
was
those
also very
photos.
last minute that Andrew was going as well.
Yeah.
Like he wanted to go, but you guys had your big trip coming up that was planned, and it wasn't meant to be, but that's okay because it's gonna happen.
Yes.
Mhm.
But no, it was just really nice. I read a total of like 4 books within the 7 days that I was there because I was literally just going to the beach, sitting in the sand, reading a book. Like no one else was around me for the majority of the time. Very much me time, my kind of me time.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And it was so nice. And it was nice in the fact that like we had 26 people in one house, right? So very chaotic. But it was so big that we were on the bottom floor. And so we were able to kind of have like our own space. Like there was a movie theater room, so we watched a lot of sports because it's September and football. We're very big football fans. Well, some of us are.
Go sports.
And so we were able to do that. There was a pool table, there was a pool, there was a jacuzzi, like there was everything that you could think of there, and it was so cool. And we did go into the town, and I think we did that 1 or 2 days. We went to a dinner a couple times, but outside of that, because we had 26 people, each family or friend group had a night that they had to do dinner.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we had like a spaghetti dinner night. I made Mexican chicken tacos.
Mhm.
Mm.
I
We
know. I
had
love those.
we had a Korean beef night.
Ooh.
We had a
Interesting.
barbecue night, and we had a
Mhm.
pizza night. And it was so nice because you have 26 people, it's chaos. Everyone was
Mhm.
doing their own thing, but every night we had dinner together,
Yeah,
the
that's so
26 of us.
nice.
And it was just like fun chatter. Like, I mean, Andrew's family, they are the best. You can have the best conversations with them. And especially his one aunt, I just love her
Yeah.
dearly.
Yeah.
And you can have the best heart to hearts with her, and it's just so fun. So it was just a lot of good quality time to just like mentally detach. Like I didn't bring my phone with me anywhere. I had my watch on me in case someone needed to text me or call me because like at the time my best friend was very much pregnant. So she was napping quite a bit, and has her daughter who's like 6 years old and stuff to take care of as well, which my cousin who's the dad was there as well. So it was just really cool to experience in these people that we don't get to see every day, and to spend like a
Mhm.
full 7 days in the same space and get to hang out like we used to when we lived right next door to each other.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was a fun experience.
So nice.
And then to just share my favorite beach. It's like, I don't know if you've never been to the Outer Banks, you need to go.
I've never been. Yeah.
It's like any other beach that I've been to so far. It is very touristy in the fact that like you go into town, you're going to see a lot of people. It is a beach, it's an island.
Have you been there
Um,
before?
Mm-mm.
but you're not going to see any kind of boardwalk at all whatsoever. The boardwalks doesn't exist there.
Huh.
You go to the beach and it's you. There's other people on the beach, but it's like you, the beach. It's not like I've been to Virginia Beach. I know Myrtle Beach is like this, but where you have like 2 miles of sand till you actually get to the ocean.
Yeah.
And then within like the first mile, there's just a fucking crowd of people everywhere. And you can't actually like there's just people everywhere. And that's not how the Outer Banks is. At least where I've been. And I don't think the Outer Banks is like that at all, to be completely honest. I mean, some parts of the Outer Banks you have to have a 4-wheel drive car to even get to. So
Mm.
so it's just like a really nice way to just be able to detach. And everyone that I needed to talk to was there.
Mhm.
So I was able to just like fully just be done with reality and just be on my beach bum phase where I want to be every time of the day.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was my vacation. It was very well overdue, very longed for,
Mhm.
like 3 years. So, Yeah, no, it was wonderful, and I want to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just whenever they say think about your happy place or your,
Mhm.
go to happy spots, like just imagining while you're telling your story, I'm just sitting on the beach and it just immediately relaxes me.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. And my whole life I've spent a lot of time at that beach. So it was just that feeling of like I get to share my favorite space with people was
Mm.
super cool to have. It was super cool to have.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my vacation to kind of just like mentally check out. To just needed
Mm-hmm.
that mental checkout and to just really detach from, screens, reality really, and
Yeah.
just be able to
Go to a
unwind.
happy place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really nice. And I actually have come to realize I need that a lot more often than just, every 8 years.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I was lucky enough to end my very long vacation in that kind of mindset, but my vacation, I have a whole notes in front of me to remember everything because we did a lot.
Yeah.
And it's been a vacation that we've been planning for years because it had been since I graduated high school that I last been out to see my family. I've never met my sister in law, and they just had a new baby. So I got to meet my niece. And so,
Yay.
like, it's just been a long time coming. And so Andy was like, well, if we're going out there, let's cross off some bucket list things. And so going to Seattle was added to that list. So it was amazing. Probably my favorite vacation for sure. So we started by going to Seattle.
Yeah,
This
and
is West Coast Trip Part 1, as we call it.
and how awesome it is to have a partner that almost helps you make that kind of stuff happen.
Yes.
It's
I
cool.
never would have done this.
Yeah.
Like, it's something, the Seattle aspect of it has something I've been wanting since I was a little girl
Mhm.
Aw.
because I was raised a Seahawks fan. Go Hawks.
Merp.
Go sports.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because my parents are from Montana, and so they adopted the Seahawks as their team, and
But they were first.
they were first Vikings fans before
Yeah.
Seattle existed.
Should have never told me that piece of information. For you that don't know, I like the Vikings.
So that we could have been the same team fan
That
favorite.
would have been cool though.
Yeah.
Everyone around us is a Bills fan.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I wanted to experience Seattle.
Yes.
Being
Yep.
surrounded by all of the fans and like this big hype around the 12s, the crowd, and we're a part of the game with our
Yes.
yelling, and we
Mhm.
have our own flag, and there's just such camaraderie
Mhm.
with our uh not brand, team.
Team.
I mean, it is a
I mean,
brand.
it's a brand.
Marketing brain. Um but it's just thinking up to it, like I've always dreamed of experiencing that, right? So once he actually like bought the tickets and made that a legit thing, every time a Seattle game was on beforehand, well, even just thinking about leading up to the trip, anything
Yeah.
could easily set me off and just like tearing up
No,
because I'm like,
that's
no,
so cool.
this is not happening.
Yeah.
And even thinking back to it, I still get the tears in my eyes.
Yeah. Cuz it's such a I mean, it's a hop, skip, and a jump away. So it's like
Mhm.
it's one of those things where you're like, oh my God, I want to do that. I got to do that. But like
Mhm.
for that to become a reality, it's huge. That's
Yeah.
huge.
I'm crying right now.
Aw.
But it's like the happiest tears.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a
It's only
great
ever happened to me one other
Damn,
time when I got
this-
Les Mis tickets. So I was like, I kept teasing them. I'm like, I'm not crying. Shut up. What he's talking about is just like a little mist in there.
And
It's fine.
what an emotional vacation you went on.
Yes. Because the very next day, Andy and I are hikers. We like to go out, explore. We go to the state park. That's just something that we do. So naturally, we're going to try and find a hike on vacation.
Mm-hmm. And in
Nothing abnormal
Seattle,
about
Oh
that.
yeah.
You
Nothing.
have to.
Just a
Yeah.
little hike.
Yeah.
Nothing abnormal about that. The whole, am I getting my nails done or is he going to propose? Am I going to the West Coast or is he going to propose? Or, those videos that are out on TikTok didn't come across my mind. I'm just like, yep, we're going on vacation. We're crossing off bucket list. This is big thing. Of course, we're going to go on a hike. Nothing suspicious. So I was wearing leggings.
I know. I was like, in some way, I wish I could tell her, like, hey, but
Yeah.
I didn't want any kind. You're so suspicious and
Ugh.
easily suspicious of like surprises. So I was like, but the funny thing is like the entire time Andrew's sending us Snapchats of the ring open behind your back. And
Yes.
I'm like, I'm dead. I can't wait
I
for
know
her to find out.
it was tough. It was tough, but I was scared at one point. I was like, "Don't slip."
There's a couple times where I'm like, Andrew, you're just a little.
He was so excited.
You're towing that line a little bit.
I mean, he was very in my face about it and like the hints he was dropping.
Yeah.
But I was just sitting there like, oh, maybe he's just starting to think about it. Maybe he's asking
Yeah,
because he's gonna buy a ring and it's gonna be later down the
His
line.
friend almost outed it in the car.
Yeah.
Did he tell you about that?
I think you might have mentioned something recently.
Okay. Yeah, no, I wasn't there. He just told me about it. But one of his good friends had called him and
Yes.
had almost mentioned
Was
it.
he on speaker?
He was through the car.
Oh yeah.
And
damn.
Bree was
I didn't hear this story.
Breeing.
Bree was elsewhere and mentally, and Andrew like quickly changed subject or turned the volume down or did something. And it still went unnoticed, but I was like, damn, dude.
Absolutely clueless.
Like,
That's
don't
what
you know you
was.
gotta, hey, what are you doing? Oh, who are you with? Oh, can they hear me?
And if anyone hasn't guessed it by now, they got engaged.
Yes.
It was the proposal.
Yes. I was wearing my sweatpants or leggings and a sweatshirt with a blue tank top underneath.
But
When it happened, I thought back to
yeah.
the TikToks like I was wearing jeans or sweatpants and a t-shirt. So I laugh about that. It's like a fond giggle at myself.
But it was like even because your fiance was wearing some loud ass
Those
shoes.
shoes.
So like you were in hiking gear and he was in like literally like neon yellow caution shoes, which he loves and they're very comfy. But
yes, in front of a beautiful backdrop.
yes,
Though.
it really is gorgeous photo. It's a gorgeous photo.
Mount Rainier for
Mhm.
those who don't know, and it's just we traveled up the road and we stopped along the way, took as many pictures. Like there's so many beautiful spots out there, and I know he told me later, he's like, all right, when am I gonna do this? Right, like how far up the summit are we gonna go? Like what's the views gonna be? And I remember texting my family a picture of us together, but it hadn't happened yet. And so they were just like, "Oh my gosh, have fun." Like in the moment, I was just like, "Yeah, thanks." They're just excited for me to be on vacation, but they all knew. So once
everyone knew.
Yeah.
So once it actually happened and I'm texting people, I'm like looking back at those texts, I'm like, they knew. Like it's extra funny. Just how clueless I was. So that's the biggest highlight of the trip because I remember texting. Well, we were staying at our uncle's in Seattle. So everyone got to meet my fiance, the family that I don't get to see a lot, if at all, depending on what side. Because in the Seattle family, I've met him twice.
Right. Right.
So that was cool. But then I remember texting my brother and my aunt and everyone. I'm like, so correction, you're gonna be meeting my fiance. Like, it's something I probably wouldn't have announced via text had I not been on vacation. So it was cool to have them be a part of that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I
exciting.
will say one more thing about the Seattle because after that we went and saw his cousin and had a great vegan only restaurant meal. The food out there. And I'll get into that more in California, but she got to be the first person on his side of the family to congratulate us. So she's like, "Oh, I get to be the first one." And it was all fun. But then we had a really late or really early plane ride the next morning. So that's all that Seattle was the game and getting engaged.
Yeah.
But I
Just the
just
little stuff out of the way.
yeah. But one thing I noted because I don't get to see family very much is, especially my dad's side, is the mannerisms in the family structure of like just how much they cross over and carry over to each other. Like it's a mind-blowing concept for me.
Hmm.
Just seeing my dad and a brother. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah. It all I think I when I think of those types of things, I always think down to like when they do those tests on like twins, like those long lost twin situations
Oh,
where
yeah.
like they actually end up more alike
Mm-hmm.
than they realize and actually start picking up the same mannerisms even though they've never met
mm,
versus like if they live together kind of thing. And it's just I mean that's a totally different concept and topic, but it
yeah.
spurred my memory to that. But yeah,
That's the
no, it's
feeling
just
I felt though. Like
yeah.
it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
huh.
Yeah. Yeah. But like it's like when my dad gets together with all his brothers and you're just like, "Oh, yeah, you can see where they grew up." And then they're definitely brothers.
Yeah.
But that's cool. That's the ideal. That's ideal. That's cool.
Yeah. So early morning the next day, we fly into LA.
Mhm.
And now this is the part of the vacation that I'm most used to because as a kid, that's the part that I'd visit. That's where my family is. So we did all the things I even would normally do on that kind of vacation because my parents were very much planners. We
Yeah.
went and did this excursion together. We'd go and do something together. There's not really that chill time.
Yeah, you didn't just like hop on a plane to LAX with your dreams and your cardigan.
Yeah. And I think it's important to know at this point too that Andy, this was his third vacation that summer
Yeah, he's crazy.
because he, yeah, he had a wedding party down in Jacksonville, so he had that chill
Mhm.
beach vacation. He had the Outer Banks vacation that
Mhm.
Autumn was just telling us about, and so he was kind of like he's had his relaxation. He kind of wanted to go and do things on vacation,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
which at that moment was fine because we had part 3 to go to.
Yeah.
So it ended up working beautifully.
Oh,
And
that's nice.
yeah. So in LA, we stayed with my brother and I got to meet his wife and daughter, which was very special. And their 3 dogs. Beautiful, beautiful Dobermans that were just so
Oh.
sweet. And it's just this was the first time that I got to like bond with them
Mm.
because usually we are going out and doing things and my mom and him are trying to connect. He's my half brother on my mom's side. So that kind of would take up the attention in
Yeah.
older vacations.
And I feel like when you go on a vacation with a sibling and it's just you and that sibling, it's almost unfiltered in a way, which is
Yeah.
quite fitting for us to be talking about. But my sister and I had an experience like that where we really hadn't vacationed without our family. And then when we finally did, we were actually able to bond more
Yeah.
because you don't have that like filter or that persona or like that person you almost feel like you have to be when your parents are around kind of thing.
Mm.
And you just don't have that in the way. So you're able to bond and just like really deepen the conversations and do
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, you really get that quality
Yeah.
Yeah.
quality
Yeah.
time.
And the last time I went to California, it was just me and my sisters, but it's my sister and her wife, so I just call them my sisters.
Yeah.
They've been a part of my life since I was 5, 6 years old, talking about my sister-in-law, and my sister and her are 12 and a half, 13 years older than me. So they've always kind of been more of like a guardian figure in my life,
Yeah,
and
that's
I was
good.
18 going out with them. So it was still kind of like you said that filter.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it didn't feel she had to go through a transition of
Yes.
turning into that
You are
figure
no
to a
longer a
Mm-hmm.
sister.
child to
Yes.
an adult. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had that with my sister in a way because we're 8 years apart, and that
Yeah.
was a transition. That was easier once the parents were out of the equation.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. And you were finally able to have, some quality time with your brother that you don't get to see very often, if ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just completely one-on-one through each other. And he's the brother that I am 10 years apart from to the day. I was his 10-year birthday present. I always think that's a special
Wait,
fact.
you guys have the same birthday?
Same exact birthday.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
That's how I know he's, his age, because I know my age. Just add 10. It's perfect.
Oh, he's going to love your 30th birthday.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
oh.
Every time he texts me, I'm getting older. I'm like, look at you. This is your age.
Oh,
Nice try.
Yeah, that's funny.
I'll never. I view growing up differently because I get to be like, I'm still younger.
Which don't tease too much.
Yes, Bree is the youngest out of the three of us as well. But like I've said before, the age you wouldn't feel it. I
Oh,
don't feel
no.
it with you, Sia.
Yeah, you get to a certain point where the age doesn't
just-
matter. It's where you are in life and how you can
Yeah.
communicate
Yep.
and reflect and grow all together.
Yeah.
So long as you have that mental clarity of like age, quite frankly, really does not matter in a relationship, friendship sort of sense. To the point where as long as you respect each other's boundaries, have that communication, like you said, and are good for each other, not
Yeah.
toxic in any way, it really doesn't matter. Like, I would think that you and I are the same age in my head.
I know.
Like, that's how
I
irrelevant
wish.
it is.
It makes aging easier too, because it's
Yeah.
like my body is, taking care of me. I've gone through so much. I'm going to continue to go through things, and I look in the mirror and there's a beautiful moment of self-love there. I'm
Mhm.
not worried about the wrinkles or getting
No.
gray hair.
No.
I'm embracing that part of my
Yep.
journey.
And what's really nice about our age dynamic is that someone has experienced something at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So we are able to either help guide each other through what we're going through, or just help be there, or just help listen, like whatever is needed, because
Yeah.
one of us has experienced it in some way
Mhm.
before the other, or whatever the case may be. So it's like it does bring that factor into it as
Mhm.
well, which is super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't mean to veer off topic, but
Oh, so what did you end up doing after you saw your brother?
yeah. And he lives in LA, so
Yeah.
lots of fun things must have happened.
He's a little more in the desert, and he had to take certain days off. So we got one full day with him, which was the next day, and we went to Joshua Tree.
Oh, is that a new park?
Must be.
I-
They have Tweez
I
there.
tried focusing so hard too, it still came out.
And I bet you Tweety Bud was there.
Maybe that's in Mississippi.
And they have water bottles.
Oh,
God.
just so you guys are aware, Bree's brain is buffering. This is what happens. It's part of what. Yeah.
It's us,
part of what
and
makes
we
us
love
us.
them.
Yeah.
And normally
We
you
do.
can continue on with a conversation and leave that in, and we know what you're talking about.
Yes, I was actually
We get
having
you.
that conversation with my mom the other day where like you and I, like Brie, you and I are very mentally in tune when
Mhm.
having conversations that like we can just look at each other when we can't get words out correctly and our brain is just like, no, we're not gonna connect with your mouth and have it say what you want. And we just look at each other and we're like, yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
It's okay, I got you.
The brain just fills in the blank.
It's like, yeah, and C and I, you do that. We do that too.
Mhm.
I just feel like you and I do it more because we're always fucking up a little bit more. Like you're fucking up a word, we're fucking up full
Yes.
sentences.
Yes, I'm like that one. You know, what's that one word?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love our games of charades.
Yes, we're getting very good at it.
It makes life a little more interesting.
And lots of giggles. Lots of giggles.
Definitely.
We're always laughing.
Yes. So we went to Joshua Tree.
I know that
And
place.
yeah. It's a big desert state park that many people go missing
Oh.
because,
I didn't know that part.
yeah, my brother was like, "Oh, which way you gonna go? Oh, that's not where the path is." Like, it's very easy to lose the
Yeah.
path out there.
Yeah. I've heard that. I mean, you know me, I love my true crime.
Yeah.
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 It was something that Andy's been wanting to doing.
Oh my gosh. Guys, I hope you're laughing as hard as I am right now because it's not gonna stop. It's just gonna keep going.
no.
But it's okay, Bree. This is our true authentic selves.
I'm dead.
It's so funny. Okay,
Oh
so
my
this is what Andrew's been
I
doing.
was like, try not to laugh. Let her get through it. She got this. And you can't help. You can't help it.
No, I want to embrace the laughs because they're just this. So when we originally wanted, Sia had come up and said like, "Hey, let's start this podcast," and that's because 90% of the conversations that we have, like this one right now, is us fucking up a sentence, laughing really hard about it, and then getting back on topic.
Yes.
So we're gonna keep this in, but you let us know if you guys like it or not.
They're like, well, there was just half an hour of them giggling.
I know. Anyways, this is what Andrew's been wanting to do. This is a bucket list item for him.
It wasn't bucket list category, I don't think, because something else we did was bucket list.
Okay, but more so you're in the area. I've heard a lot about this.
Yeah,
Done
he
some
had a lot of
research,
interest
really
in
wanna
it.
go. Yeah,
And
cool.
and I never actually went out to the desert. It was still new to me, even though like
Mhm.
you're out there. His part of the family that I've been to lives out in the desert. Like I've seen the desert,
Mhm.
but I've never actually like gone on a hike in the desert. Like
Yeah,
that was
I've just
something we
driven
started
through
doing
it,
out
so
here. Yeah.
yeah.
that's
So
super
it
cool.
was cool, and all the oases, and we went up a mountain. That was the first part of the hike where we could have gotten lost. The rest of the things we kind of were just closer to the road, but it was really cool to experience.
Do you think it would be easier with today's technology to not get lost?
Mhm.
Really? Because like you can't. Okay, because
Yeah,
I was
that's the
like, can't
biggest
you
thing.
pin yourself and then follow your? I feel like that should be a thing. But you know, GPS should work without service. But if you can't see it, then yeah.
It's a very touristy area, though.
Oh yeah.
So, like, the hikers that are experienced hiking, I don't think are typically the ones going missing. It's the
No, it's
people
the
who are
people who aren't
not knowing to
prepared.
prepare. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We got to see a lot of different vegetation and views, and I got to relish in the Western heat. And, my brother and Andy went off onto like they wanted to scramble up a big rock, and I'm like, I'm not scrambling. My legs are done. Like, I'm good. You guys go do your thing. And I just laid out on a rock in the shade. So even though it was like 100 degrees that day, super hot, I was nice and cool. I could take a nice nap. It was in the shade.
Wow.
Like, you don't get that out here because of the humidity, but because it was so dry, it's just like I could have used a blanket on me. Like, it was chilly in that shade, but it was perfect.
Mhm.
That's yeah.
I don't think New York's humidity is that bad, but I do get it.
It,
South
it's
is
not the same.
horrible. South is horrible.
Even a little bit of humidity, I don't care. Give me the as dry as possible.
Definitely want to experience dry heat.
Yes.
Coming from, growing up in the South,
You gotta
East.
take that trip to Arizona.
I know, we do. Derek has some friends that live out in the Phoenix, Arizona area. I want to because I watch a lot of TikTokers and the food there looks so good. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
That was a big day with my brother.
Yeah.
And that was our big like solo day with him because
Mhm.
his wife still had to work while we were there.
Oh, so she didn't get to go.
She didn't get to go to Joshua
Mm.
Tree. She stayed home and worked and watched the little one. She works and doesn't do daycare, so she's just a badass.
Wow, handling her business
Yeah,
there.
and I made
Mhm.
sure to know, like, you're a badass. Like, look
Yeah.
at you go, because I know
Yeah.
she would appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. While that sucks that she wasn't able to go, it's really cool that not only you were able to have that one-on-one time with just your brother,
Yeah.
but that Andrew was able to have that too, so
Yeah,
that he could build that bond with him
Mhm.
especially doing something we
that
all
you love.
enjoy.
Yeah,
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 Yeah.
because they love doing it. Didn't they get
they do.
married?
They did.
Yeah.
They went camping and hiked up a mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very similar in that way.
That's
We definitely connected over it. It was nice
super
to
cool.
have our own connections
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But the next day, this was not really, it's kind of a bucket list item for me, but being a little girl visiting California on vacation, we went to Knott's Berry Farm,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just short enough to not be able to ride the big rides. And it was like this huge meltdown. So I
Oh.
had this like resentment towards it. And so
You're
I
like, I'm
always
an
wanted
adult
to go.
now.
Yes. But it's Knott's Berry Farm, which, I never really thought about that because I was a little kid when it happened, but we went back there and it's a little kids amusement
Yeah.
park
Yeah.
with lots of baby rides for the most part. So I actually probably had a really fun time and did a lot when I was little, and I just don't remember it because I wanted to ride the big rides. It was a big deal. But, a little piece of my inner child was at least a little healed by visiting it.
That's good
Mhm.
though. That's good.
Yeah. But I did have a laugh with Andy about it because it's just like,
Well, because you
yeah.
guys were debating going there Six Flags, right?
Yes, and I still don't regret that decision because the Six Flags trip would have been better off to be like drive up there, stay with my sister-in-law's family who lives closer to there, go to the park, do everything, spend the night there, and then
Yeah.
drive back because
Yeah.
that's how bad the traffic is from where they live. And
Oh, I
even
can
though it was
only
like 2
imagine.
hours technically, like
Yeah,
if you know
and
California traffic,
Oh
it's
gosh, yeah.
yeah.
not just that, but like Six Flags is just a lot. We went to New Jersey as a little friend group. Not this past summer, but the summer before it, and we went to whatever Six Flags is there, and we were lucky enough to stay with one of Andrew's family members that was only like a half hour
Yeah.
away. But I was dead that day.
Yeah,
We
it
did
was a
so
lot.
much walking and running around and riding rides and just all of that. So like you have that on top of it where you add 2 hours of traffic.
Yeah,
You
they're
don't want
big
to do that.
parks. It's not like the one out by closer to us where it's like you could do all of that in the day, even with the water park.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, that can be a future vacation
There
plan.
you go. With your friends.
Yeah. Arizona, California trip.
I mean, why not? They're right there. And I'm sure they just brought a baby into this world too. This past February, March actually. They just recently had their baby.
Congratulations. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So might be a little bit before they'll want to do that.
Yeah.
Or they could be open with traveling with a newborn. There are people who do that. I don't know.
I mean, more time to save up because it is expensive out there.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially eating out. So it was nice being able to eat home cooked meals with my brother too,
Mhm.
because we were able to save a little money there as well.
Mhm. I like the idea of like when you go out on trips with like a large group of people, being able to get like an Airbnb type place so that you can, or like a resort type place where it has like the whole kitchen and all of that so that you can go grocery shopping
Yeah.
and make food and then you can eat out here and there, like maybe like a brunch or a lunch or dinner or whatever. But for the
Yeah.
most part, it's a little bit cheaper than just like straight eating out every meal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you could just be like my sister and I and just have a, a bakery item and coffee just all day long at different. It's so good. It's so
Yes.
good. We just drink coffee all day long. Just give me a pastry here.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. I mean, usually when I went out to California, we would eat out every night. But because we, so my parents would go out and visit everyone to their houses,
Mm-hmm.
and we'd have their own excursions with them, whatever. This time we stayed with my brother. We had that quality time with them. And then the next day that I'm going to talk about on this trip, we just gathered everyone and we went apple picking. So we
Oh,
had a fun
fun.
time together. I got to see everyone that was able to come and spend some time with
That's
them.
awesome.
Yeah.
And fun fact about that place, it's out in the mountains, and it was the place where the big fire happened from the gender reveal. So we got
Mm.
to see some of the aftermath of that, and that was like the big story of them telling us about like how big that was from their, I mean, they lived nearby, like that their
Mm-hmm.
perspective. Like, yeah, we saw on the news and everything, but it was big.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to ask, being that we live in Apple territory, like apples are New York's thing, the
Yeah.
Big Apple. Did it compare apple aside from the family, just the apples? Well, because like I
Just
mean, you're not a Big Apple person,
Yeah.
but we have, if you guys aren't aware, like New York has so many different variations of apples. We have
mm-hmm.
apple orchards everywhere on top of wineries, breweries, all of that shit. But we have apple orchards literally everywhere. So I was just wondering, like, if even if I can ask Andrew this question later, but did it
Taste wise.
even variety wise, like, did it compare?
I don't know. It's just it was different apples.
Yeah, yeah.
So taste, if we're going off taste wise or using them wise, that's definitely more of a question for Andy, because
Yeah.
I mean they were good,
Mm-hmm.
but they're just different. And it was kind of picked through too because it was a little later in the season.
Okay, yeah.
So we had to hunt for the good ones apparently.
Yeah, because apple picking is something that Andrew and I, like to do together every year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love apple picking. It's just I don't even have to eat it. I just like doing
Yeah.
it.
Well, I was going to say this one that we went to, you couldn't eat while you picked. Yeah, it was a different experience. They had a little flower patch that you could pick from, a pumpkin patch, and then a smaller
Mm-hmm.
apple orchard. Like nothing compared to what we have here.
Yeah.
But it was more of like a day out of fun than
Okay.
like the experience of going and picking apples like it is here.
Yeah, yeah. We have some places like that that have like where we went to like the over midnight corn maze thing
Yeah,
that has all that. So something like
they're
that.
just so much bigger.
Yeah.
Like it
Wow.
was like, I'm sure they have big ones out there, but they don't really have much, I don't think.
Okay.
So it was just smaller. It was really packed and busy
Yeah.
because they're probably few and far between.
Right.
Usually they just have the sands. So it was cool to experience that, and it
In a
was a
different
cooler
way.
day.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. Different perspective.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But it was nice to see all of my family
Yeah.
and not have it be such this like we're gonna go here, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go here. Like I got to just be with them.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel like when you have an itinerary like that, while it is fun to have plans, it can also, especially someone that's very similar to the three of us, that like those plans are fun, but they're also looming. They're like looming over
Mm.
your head. They can be stressful. It's like, oh, I have another thing I have to do. So I don't feel like I can just take my time in this moment and be in this moment because now I have to worry and prep myself for the next moment
Yep.
and stuff of that nature. So it's really cool that you were able to just have, we're gonna go to this one planned space that has a lot for everyone to do
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
hang out and have memories, make those memories together.
Yeah. We got food, sat at a bench, and were able to talk. Like
Yeah.
it was a nice full day
Yeah.
with
That's
them.
awesome. Fulfilling day too,
Yes.
I'm sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next day is when we crossed off a bucket list item for Andy, which is dune buggying in the desert.
Ooh.
And I didn't really know what to expect. But it was really fun.
Yeah.
It was really fun. I only got scared at one point.
That's good.
He decided to drive off up a steeper dune
Mhm.
that had like a sharper down, and it was kind of more like a horseshoe that you can drive
Stomach's
through.
already jumping. Like, oh.
And it feels like you're tilting inside. From the inside, it feels like you're tilting so much more than you actually are. Cause I'm like sitting there, I feel like I'm completely sideways. I'm like, just get us off of this thing. We're gonna roll over. Like, I'm just like, that's the only anxious moment I really had. And he's like, get
Yeah.
out, get out. Because he's like, it's fine. We're not gonna slip down. You can get out. So I got out, and then I looked at it. I'm like,
You're not
that's
even
all. It really wasn't that bad, but it felt so much scarier.
Ugh.
But it was overall a really cool experience, and
Yeah, that's
knowing
really
that it
cool.
was a bucket list item for him, it felt really good to like he helped me cross off a bucket list item. I did one with him too. It was
Yeah.
like really nice, and just one of those moments where you're in the moment. Like, I was taking
Yeah.
pictures
Yeah.
and everything, but like I was just pure joy sitting in the moment with him in the
Your
same way that he might have
fiance.
been. Yeah.
Ugh.
I feel like that just makes it even better.
Yeah. You're in pure bliss, and then you're
Yeah.
on vacation, which makes you
Yep.
put yourself in pure bliss too, and then it's just
Yeah.
like adding on top of each other. It was really special.
I always forget to take photos. That's why I never come back with a lot because I love those moments where you're like, oh yeah, I'm in the moment. This is like a cool memory. I just know you get that feeling, you know? And
That's where I like to take just like one candid photo.
I wish I could remember
Just
to do it
just
more.
one sweet little snapshot that when I look at it, I re-feel those feelings
Mm-hmm.
and I have that visual to memorize because like over the years you're still gonna remember it, but if it starts to fade like around the
Yeah,
edges
that's definitely why I wish I had
and
them.
stuff of that nature. But like I don't have a whole lot of beach photos.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, Andrew was smart enough. He took a fuck ton. But he also was able to create a share file for everyone that went
Oh,
to
that's
share
awesome.
all the videos and photos that they took.
Mhm.
So I'm able to have that whole album to pull from, but it was just a lot of it was obviously being digitally detached, like just
Yep.
putting my phone down, forgetting it, but also just remembering to take like the guys are having a pool tournament and all the guys like because we have new additions to our friend group and different dynamics based off
Mm-hmm.
on relationships changing and friendships evolving and stuff of that nature that it was just everyone was just so genuinely happy to be there and and loving and just being able to have that snapshot and be able to refer to just to look at not even to
Mm-hmm.
post or share but just to have
Mm-hmm.
is super cool. Did you take any photos there
Oh,
or?
we took lots of
Yeah, I was
photos.
like Andrew loves photos and I think it's so cool
he
how much he loves it.
he helped me embrace the tourists, you know. Like, yeah, I've been there all the time. I've experienced it, but like you said, it kind of fades around the
Yeah,
edges, and
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I always wish I had more to go back on, and now I was able to. And we did so many cool things that, like, looking back on it, I'm
Yes.
really glad we have it.
Well, and one of my favorite ways to kind of spend time with people is being able to share something that's so important to me or had like an important moment, but then be able to see their perspective and kind of re-experience this place that I can't experience new again,
Yeah.
but be able to experience it through others. So like being able to see the excitement on Andrew's and Derek's face when we were in the Outer Banks was just like it was so exciting because
Yeah.
I can explain it, but I can't explain it as good as experiencing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that's so fun. And I so badly want to take you guys where I'm from, not only to show you guys what was such a huge part of my life, but also so I can re-experience it in this new way through you guys. And I mean, I hope you like it. I
Yeah.
think you will, but so yeah, I'm sure that was fun for you as well, just to be able to like it's a different way to experience LA
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
California.
But also going off of that, like, that's what I got to experience Andy. Like, I've been
Mhm.
there before so
Yeah.
many times,
Yeah.
and I got to see him experience it for the
Yep.
first time, and that was
It's fun. Yeah.
it's such a special
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
And very deep and vulnerable too,
Yep.
because that is such a nobody really knows that side of me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I hardly ever go there. Like I talk about it, but
It's very cherished.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was really, yeah. Really nice. And after dune buggying, one more day in part 2 California trip or West Coast trip, we went to see my cousin in Big Bear. And, if you don't know Big Bear, it's a mountain in Southern California where you get more of those pine trees. Like, it's not the beach, it's not the desert, it's mountain.
Mhm.
So it was really cool to see that part of California too, because I don't think I've been to Big Bear before. But it was also, I got to have some of that time with my cousin, uh, which I got to have once actually, but it was nice to have again and have everyone there and got to hear all of her travel stories because she is the travel queen. Like, she's been everywhere and everywhere. She's been everywhere and anywhere, and even solo and with her now husband, who I also met for the first time.
Yeah.
But just like all her souvenirs, her stories, the money, talking about solo travel, talking about
Yeah,
not solo
let's give
travel.
props to her for solo travel. I
Yeah,
mean,
Yeah.
that's
wow.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to have like an actual one-on-one conversation with her about it because like she has a really cool perspective on life. Yeah, she's really cool and
Mm.
fun.
Well, that's awesome. So many firsts, and the
Yes.
firsts have not stopped, right?
No,
They keep growing in
they keep
part
going.
3.
Part 3 West Coast trip.
Yes.
So we drove down to San Diego and
Yes.
stayed with his cousin, and she's right off one of the beaches. It was just a couple blocks. You just walk over to the beach, and that was when I finally got to have my relaxing vacation.
Just chill, unwind,
Yes.
detach. And that's where you spent a full week there, right?
We spent a full week there.
Yeah.
And we had a blast. Just every morning we tried a new coffee place, got breakfast.
Yeah,
Like,
talking my language right
yeah,
there.
it's like this a small town on the beach.
Mhm.
Like, it's the city, it's populated,
Yep.
but it had its own, it's a touristy area. That's the
Mhm.
best way to describe it because it had its own shops and foods and everything. And, the beach down, still walking down to the next town, had so many other things. So we got to experience so much every day. But he did let me have one full day of just laying on the beach. And it was so nice.
Yes. We talk so often about all the different trips that we want to do. And I feel like that is something that we need to do.
Number 1 is always beach.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Just having a beach vacation, but just our friend group
Yeah.
in a house. We'd
Mm.
have so much fun.
The warmth, the sound of the ocean.
Yes. And just being able to detach, like everyone
Uh-huh.
putting their phones away and just
Yes.
being in the moment and having fun and just having that detached space. And then people who don't get to see each other very often haven't been able to get as close as another person may be, like you with, my best friend and stuff. Like you guys, like obviously I've had the most time with her. You guys have had your time, but I've had the
Mhm.
most time with
Mhm.
her, and it would be so cool for us all to be able to hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you damn well know if she lived here, she'd be a part of this.
Oh. Oh, hell yeah.
Absolutely. But relaxing beach time,
I know.
Yeah.
it was amazing. And like we were there long enough that I did eventually want to go and like, okay, I've had my full day at the beach, or I've had so
Mhm.
many hours at the beach. Let's go and see what this is about and
Mhm.
whatever. But it was still on the beach, so we still had that like
Yeah.
relaxing ocean noise.
And there's something that you guys had told me about this where like all the different bars
Mhm.
were like sports football themed.
Backer bars. They're a thing everywhere, but not so much around here. Like there are some, but they're kind of sprinkled out. They're probably more Bills bars, like because it was such a populated area and such a touristy area.
It's probably an
That every
area that so many different types of people have congregated
yeah,
and kind of settled and everything, so that you get all the different sports teams, you get all the different cultures and just experiences that way where like I don't foresee them having a Vikings bar anywhere around here or
No.
a
No,
Seahawks
no.
bar anywhere
No.
around here where it's
They'd get chased
just a
off.
fuck ton of Vikings fans or Seahawks fans or whatever. It's a lot of Bills. Bills, 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 Bills.
There are some though.
Yeah.
Because my uncle in Seattle was telling me that every time he travels, which he had to for work, he would find a hawk battle bar.
Ooh, I want to
They
go to
battling each
a
other.
hawk battle bar.
All I picture is
Backer
like those
bar.
inflatable like little arenas where you're both on a stand and you have the inflatable little like
Oh my god.
sticks and you're just smacking each other off.
Exactly.
And you're just
Yeah.
smacking the Cardinals fan. You're like, "Hey, get out of
This sounds
here,
like
the 49ers.
A bar I want to
Oh.
go to. New
Oh,
idea.
so
Let's write
fun.
that down.
Yeah. Backer bars are really cool because, it's just a bunch of people, again, camaraderie, fans in an area where
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fans aren't usually.
And you guys were
Right.
able to watch a Bills game out there at
Yeah.
the Bills bar. And I'm
Yeah.
sure Andrew was like, fuck yeah. What's that? I mean, because like California alone has what I feel like 1,000 of its own teams. So it's like,
Too
you're like,
many.
oh, I'm going to be in the Rams or Chargers, or I know the Raiders aren't there anymore, but they used to be. Like, I'm going to be in that kind of territory. And you're like, holy shit, everyone here's a fucking Bills fan.
Yeah.
Like,
His was bigger than
oh, I'm sure. Bills
a lot
fans
of them.
they are
Mm.
loyal.
Yeah.
We'll say that.
They know how to party too.
Yes,
That,
yes.
that was a fun. The Seattle bar was fun. It was cool to
Yes.
experience, and everyone yelling at the TV, great. But that Bills bar, every time that they, scored or did something, and
Yeah.
there's like strobe lights and mist fell down and there's confetti. Like it's a huge
Wow.
celebration every
Yep,
time. And it was
yep.
really fun.
That is fun.
John's gonna be like, why don't we have that shit here?
What? We do. You go to
Not-
Buffalo.
not here.
Oh, got you. I'm like, what?
He'd
You
want to.
just go to
He would. We
Buffalo.
would go if we were there, but he'd be like, that's too far.
I think that's something as a friend group, because all of our significant others are hardcore Bills fans, that we should do. I
That
think
would be
that's
really
something we
fun.
need to do within the next season, if not the next season, is just experience that through them.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
I'm really regretting that I just didn't buy the tickets to the Bills Vikings game. I should have just fucking bought them for Derek and I to go. I should have done it. Although
wait.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I had a lot of anxiety about wearing Vikings gear to the fucking Bills stadium.
Yeah.
And then to be at that game, I'm sorry if you're a Bills fan, but that was the best fucking Vikings game
Oh,
ever.
jeez. Oh, jeez.
And we kicked the Bills' ass. And it was just
All right,
such a
hold
good
on.
game.
Mafia, don't come for us.
I know. I have full respect for the Bills.
Yes.
I consider them my secondary team. My boyfriend literally is a diehard fan. Every night that I lay on my couch, I have a Bills blanket on me. And my Vikings one's upstairs in my bed. But that would have been such a good game to be at, to
Yeah.
watch. And I would have been like, fuck yeah!
At the Seattle game, we were playing the Cardinals at this game.
Uh-huh.
There was a couple fans in front of us, and Seattle was winning that game.
Yeah.
And it's a divisional game, so
Yes,
I mean, it was
yes.
heated, but the fans were, doing good. They weren't being in our faces or
Mhm.
anything. We were respectful to each other. But Cardinals finally got a touchdown, and the guy just went, "Yeah!" and then looked around. Sorry. We all just started cracking up. It was great.
See, I like that. Like I think it's really awesome if you can go and even though you have different teams and you're rooting for different sides, everyone's just a diehard sports fan. Like they just love football, or
Yeah.
you just get like even if you're not like Cece, you just get caught
You
up in
feel
it.
it. You feel the
Yeah, and
excitement through everyone
It's
else.
so fun, and I feel like everyone, for the most part, I shouldn't group everyone, but for the most part, people go through that with high school, and then it just abruptly ends. Like you go to all these sports events, you
Mhm.
enjoy the sports events, and then like, oh, you graduated, you're done. Or then you go to college, oh, you graduated, you're done. And it's like,
Yeah.
this is kind of like a way on a much bigger scale to be able to experience it.
Yeah. The Seattle game was my first NFL game in general too.
Yeah.
So it was
I
a
haven't been
whole
to an
new
NFL game. I don't think I've been to a professional sports game. No, well, not. I've been to an SU game.
college.
So like,
For football, I've been to Bills, so
yeah, you went this past
mhm.
year.
Yeah. No,
You
last
guys went.
year.
Oh, what? This past season? Didn't you go this past season?
No, we were going to. We didn't end up getting. We decided not to, but the previous year we went.
Oh,
Yeah.
but tangent. Let's wrap back around. So you guys went to San Diego. You were experiencing all the coffees and
Goodness.
All the
food that
food.
San Diego
Mhm.
has to offer, which I know is good because I watch a
Mhm.
lot of food talk.
A lot of vegan options for me. It was
Yes.
hard to
Something
leave
I wish
that.
we had out here because I'm not vegan, but I love vegan food. And I love to find new vegan places for you to experience because I just love experiences with like the people that I love and care for.
Mm.
So that's super cool. I always be sending you all sorts of vegan TikTok. Like Japan has so
Mhm.
many vegan options. It's crazy.
Really?
It's crazy.
Huh.
Japan is a bucket list travel. But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, it was pretty much just that. We ate food, we chilled on the beach, we saw different beaches, we saw seals. There was a little more relaxing, laid back excursions, and we had our dating anniversary there, so
I
we
was
went
just gonna
into a more
say,
upscale
yeah.
dinner, which was really nice and
Like not
fancy.
only did you get engaged, but
Yeah.
you got to spend your 5-year
5 year,
anniversary,
half
right?
half a decade.
Yeah.
That's what I say to him. Like, it's been half a decade.
Well, when you put it that way.
Yeah.
But what a nice way to kind of end that trip with, you know, the perfect relaxation, then a little celebration with you on your anniversary. And
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
you
when
couldn't have asked for more.
exactly, like usually when I think of vacations, I don't want to do a bunch of excursions and things because there's just so much. I just want to unwind and relax. I don't get them enough to
Right, right.
want those kind of
That's
trips.
what it comes down to is we don't have enough because of our working lives and like we do have a lot in our area when it's nice out to do around us.
Yeah.
But we don't get to have that. Let me go for a week and go away and get to
Yeah, that getaway
detach.
feeling.
Yeah, so then
Mm-hmm.
you're like, but I also want to do this, but I really need this. And then it's like you gotta like play this like balancing act.
Yeah.
But at least I think that the planning, I mean, you guys were planning this for years. I mean, you
Oh
were
yeah.
planning it for years, but like truly saving and like actually planning it, you guys were doing that for like 4 years.
Oh yeah.
This was in the making and did it turn out to be, I mean, I think I know the answer to this, but for the viewers, did it turn out to be even more than you imagined?
Even more than I
Yeah,
imagined.
yeah.
I'm getting teary-eyed again. That's what this vacation was to me.
That's so awesome. I want to go on a vacation like that, but with you guys. There's so many things I want to do, but I really think that the three of us should go on a vacation together.
Yeah.
That would be
That'd
so
be
fun.
so good.
And we would have all the stories for you guys to
Yes.
share with you
Oh.
guys. And
We'd have to get into shenanigans, which is easily done.
very, and our shenanigans will be very funny.
Always.
Oh, but we've talked about all of our travels, not within this year because they were, well, CC's was within 2023, but just within this year span,
Hmm.
we've had some pretty great experiences and just quality time with loved ones. I think is like
Mhm.
our biggest thing that we've all been able to experience from these.
Yeah.
That's super cool. But it just, you go on vacation and you come home and you're just so thankful to be able to have that space of just being able to like, okay, now I appreciate being home.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I've been gone for X amount of days. I've been in someone else's space or an unknown space, and I got or at least for me, I have my stuff in my spot. I have
Yep.
my routine,
Yep.
I'm a very routined person. So I'm able to get back to that. But then, within like a week or two, I'm like, okay, what's our next big travel? Like, where are we going next? When's the next vacation? And I know your fiance is very much like that.
Oh yeah.
Like, he's always, every month he's going somewhere.
Yeah, and now that he's traveled from coast to coast, he sees how easy it is, and he's just like,
Yeah.
we could do this anytime. It doesn't have to be this big ultra planned thing or
Yeah.
2-week vacation where it's expensive. We could just come out here. I'm like, okay.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I almost need like Andrew to just tell me, like, Andrew needs to take the ropes in this one as far as like traveling, getting us out there, and
Mhm.
then I'll take the ropes of like planning all like the meals and stuff of that nature. And then he just tells me how much it is and like, let's go.
Yeah.
But it can't be next month.
No.
As he likes to do. He's always like, hey, you want to go here next month? And I'm like, no, I can't go next month.
And there'll be things that we've been talking about for a
Yeah.
while, but he waits until a month
Yeah.
beforehand too. Spur of the moment kind of guy.
Yes, very much
Mhm.
so.
So if anyone else has some extra tips for us to learn,
Yes.
please tell us.
Yes,
So-
and please, not only like tips, tricks, traveling, budget. I mean, give us. I mean, I'm sure there are places out there that I don't even know exist. Like,
Oh,
please,
hell yeah.
throw recommendations out there. Like,
Share your photos and
Yes.
yes,
relive.
tag us.
Yes,
tag us.
us. #unfiltered3. We will definitely be looking forward to seeing all of it.
Yes, I love it.
I'm excited for that.
Yes, please. And also share your dream vacations, on all of our socials, like Bree said, at the unfiltered, or I'm sorry, we changed it at unfiltered3. Tag us what your dream vacation may be.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do an additional episode where it's just about dream vacations, and maybe we can, we can talk about some of your guys' dream vacations and whatever.
Yeah, if people want to hear that,
happens.
we want to know.
Yeah, I think that would be super cool. We one of the biggest things that I'm sure we've said over and over again and we'll always say is we love a perspective change, and I would love to hear your experiences at the places that we want to go to. Obviously everyone's experience and perspective is different, and be able to put ourselves in your shoes, or yourselves in our shoes. Like I said, can't talk. But yeah, I think that was, we want to be friends with all of you guys. You guys are just additional friends for us, and we want to connect with you in any way. So, yeah.
Yes. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Unfiltered 3. Remember, we release new episodes every Monday. But if that's not enough, connect with us on our socials at Unfiltered 3, where we can uplift, inspire, and embark on this journey together. Thank you for listening and for being a part of our community. Until next time, take care and keep shining your authentic light. Bye, guys.
Bye.